top left.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello and welcome to UK Vegan Family Live. This is our first of the series and we are discussing family life. And our guest today is I'm Easy Vegan.
So I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, tell everybody who you are and sort of a bit about yourself, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm Easy Vegan. Hold on. Sorry. I've got a bit of a lag here.
Have you?
Okay.
Right. Sorry. Apologies.
Okay.
I had YouTube running in the background. Yeah. So guys. So I've been a vegan for about a year now. Got like a bit of an Instagram page going on. And yeah, I set up a YouTube channel a couple of weeks back. Got 2 kids, a wife, Will, vegan, and yeah. So that's about me, really.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
So before we get into the questions, are we going to quickly just recap on some of the documents we want to show?
I think that's a good idea. Yeah, so we can show people the documents that we're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to go into the screen share now. So we're going to start with this one.
So this is the British Dietetic Association, which confirms well-planned vegan diets can support healthy living people of all ages. And we all know that includes babies, children, toddlers, athletes, everybody. That's the first one. And we can send you these links if you do want to have a look.
Okay, we're going to go into the next one.
Yep. Okay, and this is another one that I found through Plant-Based Health Professionals UK. They have actually allowed me to use this. That's actually looking at sort of babies, so when they start weaning onto solids at 6 months, and that's your plate there. And then it just gives lots of information, supplements as well, and then your plate really, which is quite interesting. And then we've got another one for you.
Yeah, we're going to go up to that one right now.
So this is another one by Plant-Based Health Professionals UK. It goes into a lot more detail about the Plant-Based Eat Well guide. So as you can see on there, what you should be eating is lots of your vegetables, your fruits, your legumes, you can see on there. And that gives a lot more information on there for you guys as well. We won't show you it all.
You can see on the right side, it's quite a big document.
It is.
But we are going to go straight into this one.
So this one is really important, actually. I've sent this to our son's nursery provider, and it's one that I come back to quite a lot. But for us, because our son is only 3, almost 3, we need to go to page, was it 76?
I think it was 73, I think it was.
Bear with us, guys. No, almost. Yeah, you go for it.
Because I know whereabouts in the document it is. Here, I think it was.
Yeah, so the good thing about this document is it goes through what they need. So your protein, your iron, everything else that you can get from a plant-based diet. All the little minerals like zinc, selenium, it goes through all of that, calcium, obviously. And it also gives you recipe ideas as well, which is really cool, which is why the nursery really appreciate that. It goes through everything on there. So that is a really good document. It's free to get hold of. I'm happy to send it to you if you want it.
Yeah, so drop us a link on a message on Instagram if you're interested in any of these documents. So let's get rid of that and let's get into the questions.
Hey, we got some people. So Grumpy Vegan Grandad is in the house. I've got a few others there. We've got B as well. Hi. Okay, so obviously you've got a family. So, you know, what we're trying to do is normalize vegan families. You know, we want to chat to lots of different families over the next few months. For us, as our little one's only almost 3, you know, we might be able to get some good advice from some of these families about things that we haven't experienced yet. So, what do your children know about veganism? Like, what have you told them? What do they know?
So, I mean, my son, he's only just turned 1, so he doesn't know too much. But yeah, my son, my daughter, she's over 3 now, and yeah, quite often we always ask her, say, oh, do you eat animals? And she's like, no, that's disgusting. So yeah, that's that kind of naturally, and we never told her to say that. Do you know what I mean? So naturally, children love and find animals cute. So it's only it's completely natural, rather than force feed them, animals they naturally love. This it's a non-action. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah, definitely. Is there any books or anything that you've used?
yeah. So we've got quite a few actually. I think it's like an A to Z one. And then we've got the vegan teachers one as well, Reef. I think there's a couple of others as well. But we I mean, and she learns as we go along as well. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, she loves animals. I mean, we got a field of cows that literally just outside the house, and she's always like, "Oh, I love cows. And you're like, "Oh, do you eat cows?" And she's like, "No. I mean, why would you do that?"
Have you guys had chance to visit a farm sanctuary at all near you?
Not yet. Not we've been pretty busy moving that, but there's a couple about and obviously because of like COVID and that, everywhere's been shut and stuff. But no, we definitely will be, and we look forward to showing that as well.
Yeah, we've been to one today, and it's a great experience for the little ones. They love it because they get to interact with the animals. So definitely check out farm sanctuaries. Yeah, definitely. So have you got any other families in your area that you know are vegan? So is there anyone else that you've sort of met up with or?
No, not personally. But I mean, I joined like a couple of Facebook groups for like the local area and that, and kind of chat a little bit to other people. But to be honest, I mean, most of the people we know are vegan are all like, via Instagram and YouTube and stuff. And obviously, like, we've become good friends with you. But yeah, unfortunately, not one personally, but yeah, there's more and more vegans coming day by day, and that's
Yeah, so we're part of Worcestershire Vegan Families Network. So it's something that my friend actually set up in Worcestershire, and she asked us to support her with it. And there's actually quite a few vegan families in the area, actually. Quite good.
Yeah,
it's good. We know quite.
I'm looking forward to doing the vegan camp out as well. We'll do that next year, and do the family area. Hopefully, meet up, make some friends and stuff.
Oh, you will.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that one.
It'd be good. It'd be good. So something that we've sort of faced, and we've been doing this sort of 18 months now. Obviously, when you've got kids, they like to go to parties, social events and stuff. Have you had any situations or any challenges, where you've been to a party and there hasn't been anything there, or anything like that that's happened to you guys?
So, not personally, we haven't, but fortunately, we haven't. Because I mean, when my daughter was going nursery and stuff, we weren't vegan at that time, and then COVID happened, and she wasn't going nursery that much because my wife at the time, we'd only just had our son, so she was in maternity leave, so she wasn't actually going nursery. But we were thinking about it, that problem arising, and it's something which I think I asked you for advice because you had been through that, and you told me them forms that you can send, but it's something that I've been worrying about, about how you go about it, and whether you have to take, you have to get soy milk and stuff, and or will they provide it and stuff. So it's a problem that I think we're going to experience inevitably in the future.
Yeah. I think for like parties, something. I mean, we're not in a vegan world, are we? So it's, when we go to a party and and they're not a vegan family, then we know that we're going to have to let them know. And actually, I think families have been pretty good. Actually, we've sort of said, hey, we're vegan. Our son doesn't eat animal products. Would you like us to bring something? What cake are you having? I'm happy to make a cake, even similar, so that he's got something. And like 80% of the time they go, no, that's fine. Like, we've even had vegan pizzas, we've had ice cream. People are really quite good. If you up front with them, they're good.
Well, the thing is, there's like a big stigma which you've got to try and get rid of. There is definitely a huge stigma. But the thing is, we had a chat the other day and we were saying about how, if it was a dairy issue, if it was a dairy intolerance, there wouldn't be any stigma. They'd be like, oh yeah, of course not. But as soon as you mention the V word, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a huge taboo, do you know what I mean? Which we need to get rid of, especially like with vegan families and people raising vegan children.
Yeah, I agree. I say nursery, when we first told them, they were quite shocked, weren't they? They were like, whoa, is this like a fad or something?
Yeah,
but
but
actually, I gave them a lot of support. They went away. They actually did their own research, which I was really impressed with. But like for a few months, we kind of left it at that. And then we actually started asking them questions. So what is he eating at nursery? Can we have a menu, like a meal plan? And they gave us a 2-week one. And actually, it needed tweaking. You know, they hadn't seemed to do much sort of thought into what he should be having.
The nutrition wasn't what he needed,
so it wasn't great. So we showed them the last document we showed you, the First Steps Nutrition, and they took that on, and actually they've really surprised us. We sort of developed their menu, didn't we?
Yeah, we even had to go into the manager's office and sit down with them, and she went through, because she has like a shopping list where she orders it all through, and we had to like point her at certain things. So if you're open with them, you know, it's.
Did they make you feel comfortable as well, though?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're really supportive actually, and you know, they know. I mean, they know him really well. He's a little monkey. He's constantly on the go, but you know, of course, they have every right to ask questions, but it needed to be done right, didn't it? And they've supported us all the way. So we've actually got some questions in here. Should we go through and have a little look?
Yeah, we'll go have a look. I've just seen one which we'll go to. Just have a quick peek. I don't know what's happened with the stream. Everyone seems to think that the stream.
I hope everyone can hear us.
It's jumped somewhere.
Oh, what was that one?
Okay, let's just show that one. So from B.
So as far as schools, yeah, our little one is almost 3, so we've not actually been, you know, we've not experienced the schools. But what I am going to do, and I'm sure you'll probably do the same as well, is as soon as we have to start looking for schools, we'll let them know. And I'm not going to accept, you know, a rubbish menu. I'm not going to accept a jacket potato and beans, as I've heard before. I'm going to, you know, support them best I can to make sure that, you know, it is a good menu. And I think that's all we can do is just, you know, be on their side and, you know, support them through it.
And it's not even with the diet, it's all sorts of bits of exploitation that you get at school. I don't know if they still do dissection. I don't know. I don't even want to go into that. But we're gonna be open with schools and things like that as they progress.
Oh, so, yeah, definitely.
Let's go through this. So, okay. Yeah, I fully agree with that one.
Yeah, I think, you know, when we're talking to the schools and the nursery, it's always, you know, veganism is our lifestyle. I've had a few run-ins actually with some of the staff where they've talked about, you know, eating animal products, and I'm like, look, we need to handle this gently with him because he's going to get upset if he thinks somebody's eating a chicken. So, you know, to children, it's when they know the truth, it's actually, you know, it's hard on them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then the thing is, you know, people say, "Oh, you're forcing it upon your children." But what non-vegans do, and what I went through, and it's no disrespect to, you know, my parents or their parents and their parents, but it's so the normal is for children to grow up, and that disconnect. This is so far gone that it gets to the point where before they even think about what they're actually eating animals, there's no connection, and so they don't get upset because the connection is just way gone.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I think it's so important that we take our children to farm sanctuaries and let them interact with these animals. I think that's a great way of them making that connection and constantly, you know, saying, no, these animals, you know, I've met them, I've stroked them, you know, it's not cool.
No. We've got quite a quirky question here.
Okay, so with this one, actually, we went to the ice cream van when we went on holiday. It was a couple of years ago, and we just said, so have you got any like vegan ice cream? he had some Magnums on his van, so yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's getting better, but we don't really necessarily visit the ice cream van. But what about you? What do you do with the ice
Well,
cream van?
personally, I mean, I don't see many ice cream ice cream vans recently, but I think like what you said, like, I'm not surprised that they've got the vegan Magnum they had, because you know the world is changing. It is changing slowly. You know, every time I go to the shops, the plant-based options are just getting more and more. You know, you look at all the fast food restaurants. You know, they're all bringing out the plant-based options. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that yeah, the ice cream trucks, the vans have got the vegan option. I think that's great.
Yeah, no, it's definitely getting better, isn't it? Definitely.
Right.
Okay, so talked about that. So your little ones aren't obviously in nursery yet, are they? So I think, although we've kind of just touched on that, I think, you know, when you do the nursery daycare, just be upfront with them, give them the information, the documents, and hopefully they'll give you the support like they have with us.
Well, they have to,
Yeah.
don't they? I mean, like I said, if it was a dairy allergy, you know, that they'd be running for their jobs, you know. So yeah, they have to be, don't they? Do you know what I mean? And you have to be truthful with them, and they have to be supportive.
I think the only thing though is like we've got the Equality Act now of 2010
Yeah.
on our side, so I think it's going to be no doubt. I think we'll have to use it at some point, especially with schools. Nurseries don't provide milk alternatives. You know, most kids of our son's age are on full fat milk, and that is what nursery provide. That's free. That's what they get. So
Yeah.
we've obviously he's never had that. So you know we have to provide his own.
For some reason, it's normal to give children cow's breast milk. It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. So one of the other things, like looking at nursery, is you walk into a nursery and you're surrounded by old MacDonald. You're surrounded by these happy farm animals. Our little one knows that old MacDonald isn't necessarily a nice farmer. He knows about old MacDonald working at the farm sanctuary. That's kind of how we've dealt with it, like age appropriately.
I like that.
How do you get around that with your little one who's slightly older? Like, you know, the
Well,
nursery rhymes.
We do kind of things similar. Like there's a thing actually on what's it called? It's like a little baby bum or something on Netflix. Like I love that. And, but I've noticed that a lot of the things on there, like they've got lots of like kind of farm animal type ones as well, and quite a lot. I mean, there's a song all about vegetables. Do you know what I mean? I must eat my vegetables and all this.
Is
So
that?
I think, yeah. I'll try and send it to you. But yeah, I mean, we've got quite a few kind of vegan type books, you know, explaining animals and stuff. But I mean, it's like that new Peter advert. That Old MacDonald Had a Farm one. I think that's so powerful and that's brilliant in it. And I think and what annoys me is that should be shown at schools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, because if it's not, but you know what they'd say, you know, it's too graphic. It should be an 18 or whatever. It's horrific, that advert. But it's like, well, if it's not good enough for your eyes, why the hell is it good enough for your stomach? Do you know what I mean? So
exactly,
you're force feeding children animals they love. You know, so
I think also
I think that should be shown at school.
Like, as well, you're just saying that the World Health Organization actually categorizes processed meats as a class 1 carcinogen, doesn't it? That's the same as smoking. I've actually had a look on the website, and the two are there together. So
if you're not going to let your child smoke, then why are you going to feed them another form of carcinogen?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people don't necessarily realise. I think that's the issue, isn't it? Really.
Well, it's just so normalised, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And you know, we're the brainwashed ones. You know, like we've awoken. I mean, we've actually awoken. They're the brainwashed ones.
Yeah, definitely. So, is there a particular? I think we asked you this one, and I don't think you kind of knew. But is there a particular family favourite meal that you guys like in your house?
I don't know. My daughter's going through a bit of a fussy stage at the moment, like, but I know she loves non-dairy ice cream. Put it that way. I know she loves that.
Oh, don't they all?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, like my wife's like she's getting better and better at just making amazing meals. We have like lasagnas and vegan shepherd's pies and stuff. And but no, to be honest, our kids are pretty good when it comes to food. They love them all. They love their vegetables. But a firm favourite. I mean, I don't know.
It's a hard one.
Pick one. Yeah.
I don't know, what do we like?
We love a good stir fry.
Yeah, it's a real
we do
mixture in our house.
Tofu stir fry. Jack just loves it with the satay sauce.
Yeah, peanut butter sauce.
Like my youngest, like he's only one. I mean, he's still like a baby, like, but he eats like he loves like tofu, and it's crazy. He loves it.
So with the young ones, obviously we did baby-led weaning. I don't know what you guys did, but like from the start, he was eating things like tofu and right from 6 months. So he's been used to eating lots of vegetables right from the beginning. So I can always guarantee he'll eat that. But like he goes through fussy stages, and I think it's normal. It's normal for all children to do that. But you think, vegan family, oh no, they're fussy. They're going to starve. No, they're not. Children know they regulate their own hunger. So
yeah, exactly. Like we had like a little scenario a few weeks back where I had some family members around, and we had like the what's called now, it's like the pulled pork, like vegan stuff, and so me, my wife, and my kids had that, and then we had some chips, and my family members were there, but my daughter was having a fussy stage. I mean, she's eaten it before. She loves it. I know she does. I mean, but she was having a moment. I mean, she was like, "No, I'm not hungry." And in my mind, I was just like, "Oh my god, I know what my family members are thinking. They're thinking, God, she doesn't like their vegan food and all this." You know what I mean? And it annoyed me, like. But I know full well she just wasn't hungry. She was just having a moment. But you kind of, and they might not have been thinking like that, but it makes you feel like that, and it's not nice.
I get that, actually. I think because we already know that we're a vegan family, we already know that we do know people look down on us because they think we're starving our children. It is, I think a lot of it is just not understanding, I think, generally. But we've had quite a positive response to this, haven't we? Like, there's been a few questions like, oh, no, you're not going to do that to him, are you? But they actually see how well he's thriving, he's running around, everyone has been quite supportive. As you guys know, it's been more the social media where we've actually had the questions and you're starving your kid, So it's but I'm hoping, like, together as families, we can try and normalize who we are. We're just I think we were saying the other day, we're the families who know what we should be eating. We're looking at the minerals. We're looking at all the different vitamins that we should be having. And we're taking great care with what we eat.
Yep. I mean, like I said, like the other day we were saying about how I think naturally when people go vegan, the biggest thing they change, I mean, it's for the animals, but the biggest thing they change is their diet. And I think naturally, not even putting veganism aside for 1 minute, when people change diets in general, you have to be careful. You have to do your research. You have to do huge research, but you just have to know a little bit about what you're doing. It's the people with not a brain cell that have this myth in their head thinking, oh, vegans just eat lettuce. So then they do that.
We don't.
They fail. They get all weak and unhealthy, or etc. And then they hate veganism, and they have this big hatred for it, and then they join these bloody vegan tutoriation groups and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And it's because they just didn't do any research or didn't think about what to eat, But I mean, I've never ate better. I've never ate more stuff. I've never ate more variety stuff. I've never enjoyed my food more. I've never felt better.
I mean, there's some fantastic kids that we've come across throughout, this journey. I mean, we've got Zactivist as well. If anybody hasn't heard of him, check out his YouTube. He's a young lad. He's incredible, actually. We're really super inspired by him. But there's some fantastic children that, are doing this. And there's so many families out there who are raising their children vegan. And I just think people they just look at us and think we haven't got a clue what we're doing. I mean, some of the comments you get are like, well, where'd you get your calcium from? And I think people just seem to think calcium comes from a cow's breast. It doesn't. there's so much variety out there with calcium, and people just don't know. I mean, I didn't know, you didn't know,
No.
but the information is there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really not hard to find. I mean, that's exactly why why I thought of my name, because I mean, I never really, before I went vegan, I never thought about, I never really thought about veganism, and then it literally hit me like that, and I went overnight, and I never found it so easy. People think, oh God, I can never do veganism. God, it's so difficult and all this. It's like, well, actually, it's an ethical stance. I don't believe in exploiting and abusing animals. So there you go. I'm done. When it changed, but obviously you change your diet, but I didn't realize until I went vegan how easy it is. I've never, especially in 2020. There's so many food alternatives and meat alternatives, etc. Like I said earlier, and it's only getting bigger and bigger. It's only getting easier and easier.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing for me as like a lifelong vegetarian was actually finding out the truth. I think that's the hardest part of turning vegan, is finding out, watching the footage and going, oh my God, why did I not know about this? But everything else is easy. It's so easy. Especially once you get into it.
When as soon as I opened my eyes to it, and it literally, like I said, I went overnight, and that was us as a family. That was us vegans. You know what I mean?
That was pretty much me as well. I think I'd watched some footage, and I was having my dinner, and I was like, I can't eat this anymore. And
I was a huge meat eater as well. Like, I used to have a go at my wife if she's done a meal with no meat on it. I'll be like, what's this? I used to be like that. I used to be that guy. You know what I mean? And I literally went overnight and never touched it since.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go on to some of the questions, and we've got some more questions
and some shout outs as well.
So we're gonna go into this one from B.
I think our friends that we have, they all know, and they've been great actually. They've sort of said, so we want to do some food. What do you guys want? Is this vegan? Is that vegan? Now, I've always been a bit funny about other people's kitchens and their like utensils, so I do tend to sort of say, I'll bring something. But actually, when we've done like play dates, there might be like crisps and snacky bits, and they will make sure that it's just vegan stuff. Like they'll have Oreos, and and I think that's really cool of them. Like it's supporting us, that they're our friends at the end of the day. So I'm pleased. But
the thing is, so they should. I mean, if they're your friends and the family, that they should. I mean, if they're not a very good friend or family member if they don't support that. You know what I mean? So.
I mean, obviously, we've been out today to the farm sanctuary, and Adam's mom has done a picnic, and
impressed me. I couldn't believe it.
I was shocked. It was amazing. She's put so much effort into this food. It was incredible, and I'm really pleased to see them wanting to try it as well.
That's
I'm
amazing.
really pleased.
Oh, so she ate all the food as well, did she?
Yeah, and it was damn good.
She made like what it was.
It was like a pizza type tart, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a tart.
Violife cheese on. She's not tried it before.
And she did it without oil as well. So she caramelized the red onions in a beetroot.
Pomegranate molasses. I think she says.
That was like when I heard that, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, she really puts that out. It was really good.
We got another question here from Defender of Animals. Oh, yes. The turkey twizzler.
The turkey twizzlers.
What's your young one's favourite meal?
Well, I think if we're talking like snacks like that, then I think he's always going to say, can I have an Oreo? Can I have a bourbon? I try to kind of not let him have too much stuff like that, because we are sort of whole food, like plant-based.
Part of your meal.
Oh, well, I was thinking like the crisps.
No.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Turkey twizzler is like
okay. Like snacky stuff.
I just thought of something which is quite interesting actually. It's slightly off topic, but on the food topic. But a while ago, like my wife told me that she was in this shop with my daughter, and there was like some ham slices, some pig's flesh slices, and she picked them up. My daughter picked them up, And my wife just said, "Oh, no, they're animals. Like we don't eat animals and shit." And straight away there was no like, "Oh, mummy, I want them." It was just like, "Oh, okay, don't eat animals." She was like, "I don't eat animals," and put it back like that, just like that. So that was a 3-year-old. Do you know what I mean?
We
You
had.
tell them what it is, and they like, "Nah, I don't eat animals."
I was in Tesco's the other day, and like over the tannoy, it said, "Oh, roast chicken. Can we get your roast chicken?" And he turned around to me and he was like, "Mummy, we don't eat chicken, do we? Like they're my friends." And it has a face. I've never
Exactly.
told him that
That's
before.
amazing. That.
I was
Said it's
really
got a
shocked.
face.
He's yeah, it's really hard actually because most children don't have to go through that, and obviously for our children, we're telling them the truth, aren't we, from the start? But
Mm.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think one of Jack's favourite meals is he loves his tofu, his breaded tofu
yeah,
with like kale with a tahini dressing over the top of it.
yeah, he does love that.
And
I think he'd eat that every day if I gave him tahini and
Yeah.
kale.
he absolutely loves it. I can't get enough of it.
What about yours? What like their favourite go-tos?
I'm trying to think. They love like all that mashed potato, you know, like the Vigo peanut butter Snicker sandwiches type stuff we make for them. I'm trying to think like when my wife does like stir fries and stuff, yeah, they eat them all.
Yeah.
But they love all the foods to be honest, which is good. Apart from when my daughter just doesn't want to eat anything. So.
Yeah, but I think they're allowed to do that, aren't they? They like to test.
Yeah, exactly. They're at that age where it could be a favourite meal one day, and then the next day she doesn't want to eat anything. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
But good, but that's because she's vegan apparently.
So one of the things we haven't really sort of done yet, because obviously he's not that old, is any like family activism. So I know there's a couple of families that I've spoke to who do that because their children are older, like they go to the AVs together, like the Anonymous Voiceless Cubes together. But I think that's something, you know, when he's older, we might be open to doing. I mean, for him, he's lucky that, you know, he knows that we don't eat animals. But I think as he gets older, you know, he might start asking more questions about things. And I haven't really thought about what I'm going to say as he gets older. But obviously, when you do activism like AV, there is slaughterhouse footage on the screens. So
Yeah.
we're always going to be age appropriate. I think that's the way we're going to go. But have you like thought about that? Like, you know, in the future when your children are older, you know, when they want to do stuff like that.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like if my children, you know, grow up to be that, just like people like exactly this and that, like I'd be mega proud. You know what I mean? But I think the thing is at the moment, I mean, obviously they're pretty young at the moment. Do you know what I mean? But even when you're looking at 9, 10 and stuff, I think I'd be very open to taking them to vigils and stuff like that. And obviously things like AV cubes. But when it comes to them, say asking for, what happens, or why don't we eat animals, or what happens to animals, showing them slaughter footage or whatever. I mean, the way I look at it is, I don't feel like I need to show them at the moment because they're vegan, so I don't need to, you know. Whereas, you know, for example, when I was watching that Peter advert we were talking about earlier, I was watching that the other day, and my daughter could hear it and she wanted to see it. I was like, I don't want to show you it, so I just put something else on. But I didn't feel like I needed to show her because she's vegan, so she didn't need to see it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if she wasn't, yeah, I mean, she is because I've you know, we're as a family. But I mean, if they were older, you know, let's say if they were 10-year-old and they said no, I want to eat animals, then to be honest, I'd show them. Like, I would. I don't think, like I said, I think if it's not good enough for your eyes, then I don't think it's good enough for your stomach. You know.
Yeah, no.
And if someone, and the thing is, I think naturally, if someone can watch footage like this, you know, you're talking like your Dominion and your Land of Hope and Glory, that type of footage, real footage. If that doesn't affect people and make people even think about going vegan, then personally, it's pretty controversial. But personally, I think there's something wrong with you. Do you know what I mean? Like, because seeing that and thinking it's normal and acceptable is, it's far from normal,
Yeah, I mean, it gives most of us nightmares. I still have nightmares after watching some of those documentaries.
And it's like when I said earlier, like, I think because non-vegan parents and non-vegan children, because they get so old and it's completely normalized for them, and it's gone through 20 years, they're 20-year-old, and that connection is so far removed. It does take a bit of an awakening. I was 30 before I went, and that was only because I sat down and decided to watch something and decided to listen to something. Whereas a lot of people, they don't want to know, but I think you need to know. I think if these people who are so against it and think, we're forcing it upon them, it's like, well, I'm not forcing anyone. I'm showing you. I'm telling the truth. If you want to listen, then awesome. If you don't, then don't. But I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop.
So our son today was doing a bit of activism anyway. He was walking around in his Defender of Animals shirt. So that's sort of how we're introducing him into the activism.
Well, he sounds like an activist already.
Yeah, he's already rapping.
Yeah, I think he heard one of his, somebody in the family sort of going on about eating chicken. He was like, "No, I don't eat that. Don't eat chickens." I think this subject brings me on to something that a lot of people know has recently happened to us with like cyberbullying and stuff. So I think, let's sort of talk about bullying, because they're not at an age yet where I don't think children would bully each other yet. So I think as they get older, because we are faced with children who don't know what's going on, we are going to be, well, he is probably going to have some kind of scrutiny as he gets older and goes to school. So, I mean, have you got any thoughts? Is there anything you want
to... Yeah, I've thought about that, spoke to my wife about that, and I hope it's not being naive, but I'm hoping that things have massively changed. I mean, they're obviously 1 and 3 at the moment. When they go to primary school and secondary school, I'm hoping that things will have massively changed, and I think they will. I genuinely think the world is changing. It's slow, it's not quick enough, but it is changing, and veganism is becoming a lot more popular and a lot more normal for people seeing the truth, and so that's what I hope. But if something happens, which it probably inevitably will do, I'll be doing something. Definitely, I'll be going to this school. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so we've
got some more questions.
Yeah, we're going to get some more questions.
I'm loving all the questions, guys.
Yeah, thank you very much for all these questions. They're really good. So, another one from B.
Okay, so our little one has never eaten animals because I was raised vegetarian, and so was our little one. And it was actually, I think I've said before, it was through feeding him that I sort of had that light bulb moment about, that's actually cow's milk. Feeding him. So I'm not going to give that to him. But yeah, he went vegan from 17 months.
I thought it was
16, 17 months. And at first we were like, yeah, he's not being vegan. But once we watched a few documentaries about the health side of things as well. I
looked into all these documents. I think we'll share them again at some point. But yeah,
it was simple, wasn't it?
Yeah, we just found that you could get everything from a plant-based diet, so it made complete sense.
What about yours?
Yeah, so my daughter was about 18 months, but my son has been vegan his whole life.
Hey, awesome!
Yeah,
awesome.
He's a true blood.
He's the true blood. I think, obviously, like at the minute, we're really happy with just a 3-year-old running around. There is certainly no way I even want to go there. But obviously, for us, if we do have more children, then it'd be interesting to see what my pregnancy would be like, because I was actually really poorly when I was pregnant. Through diabetes and stuff, I wasn't well. So I'd be interested to actually see, how things would be with a pregnancy in the future, just to see if I come off even better with my diet as well.
it's a strange one actually. Whether it kind of affects anything, but my wife with our first pregnancy, she actually kind of went veggie. Like she just was put off all meat, which is strange. Because that was, whether that's irrelevant, but that was a bit odd. And she come up fine, and we all know that vegans can give birth to very perfectly healthy babies. You know what I mean? So
there's plenty of them.
Yeah. So we've got another one here.
Okay, this is a good one, and we might have completely different opinions on this subject. So for me, I don't tend to have a lot of junk food. You do. I
have quote cheat days.
the
6 days a week.
cheat days.
Cheat day thing.
So I think we try to eat together, don't we? And obviously, if he's in one of his "I'm going to eat a whole pizza to myself" moods, then of course I'm going to let him have some as well.
Yeah.
I think it's about variety, but for me, I'd rather him just have a small amount of junk food, and everything else tends to be oil-free whole foods. And that's. But I make cakes. I do loads of brownies. Tries to be sugar-free where I can, and I think it is moderation for children. And he likes puddings, he likes biscuits, and I'm not going to say no, you're not having it, because I think that can cause more of an issue. But I think moderation. What about you with your little ones?
Yeah, I mean we certainly eat very healthy. We do stick to whole foods mainly, but we do have the odd snacks in the house. I mean, I love a bit of ice cream and stuff. You know what I mean? And obviously my daughter does, and chocolate and stuff. But just on that, I saw a thing the other day on some post on Instagram, and it was like, when you see a vegan have junk food, they're in it for the ethics, which I love. That, you know what I mean. But I think, with people, when it comes to junk food and chocolate and even processed stuff, it's obviously not good for you. I think people say, when they talk about health with veganism, it's nothing to do with health. It's all about the animals. But when people say, because it can be very unhealthy. You can live on chips and ice cream.
And Oreos.
But, exactly. So that's my kind of stance on it. But I mean, we do eat very healthy, and we do eat very mainly whole foods. But we do have the odd snacks and stuff.
Yeah, I think it's got to be done.
So we've got another one here. As parents, how do you feel being activists paving the way for a better future for your kiddies?
So obviously we try to be fairly eco-friendly at home as well. So I've been teaching him about recycling and trying to look after the planet. So I hope in that sense that, he's going to help. I'm trying to teach him a little bit about climate change. But I think in general, I think our children are the future of this planet. They are aware of, they will be aware of, the environmental impacts of animal agriculture. And when they go on to have children, they might, have vegan children. And I do think, I totally agree with that. I do believe we're paving a better future for our children. Although the climate change thing does scare me. Yeah, it does scare me.
Yeah, 100%. I think what you said about when they have kids and then they have kids, I think that naturally there will be more vegans. People are seeing the truth, and the more vegans there are, the more people, the more normalized it is, because obviously we know this whole taboo about being vegan and the whole stigma, especially like this whole topic's about vegan families and vegan parents bringing up vegan children. But with it, by activists, I'd be super proud. I think people like the Vegan Kid and activists and that, I find them very inspiring. If my kids can be activists like them, then I'll be super proud.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Michelle Lowe. Hello. Go and check out her channel, guys. She's in the house.
Is that Kids Lazy Towns?
I remember that from my sister watching that program. That man was really scary looking.
I'm not too sure whether it's still on.
I haven't seen
I
it.
haven't seen it in years. I remember my sister used to watch that, but
Was it used to be CBeebies or something like that? I don't know.
I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Oh God, we've skipped right down to the bottom
Yeah.
here. Oh,
Well, we don't want to
God.
miss any questions, do we?
Okay. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one. So a couple of our friends actually follow us on Instagram, so they see what we're all eating. There's probably been some surprise by people because I do share now and again stuff on Facebook, and people go, "God, you eat really lovely looking food," because we eat with our eyes in this house. You know, it has to be Instagram worthy. If we don't put a picture on, then it's not Instagram worthy. Then we don't share it. If it's like, you know, like a beige day, then we might not put it on. But I think people are generally quite impressed by what we're eating. What about you?
well, like I said, like people have this myth. There's this myth, isn't there, that oh God, like a family member of mine and my wife's like say, oh, God, your food looks so sad, so boring and sad, and it's just like, are you joking? Do you know what I mean? Like, like it's amazing. Do you know what I mean? And I think there's a huge myth that we eat boring. I mean, rice and lentils and lettuce and grass. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just ridiculous. Whereas the biggest meat eater, 80%, 90% of their diet is vegan friendly anyway. Do you know what I mean? It's plant based anyway.
And I think
they forget that most of their food is actually plant based.
Yeah, I think shock. You know, pasta's vegan. Bread's mainly vegan. They're already eating fairly vegan food anyway, aren't they? Nutrition is something that I find really interesting. And aren't you doing a nutrition?
Yes, I am actually doing. I'm doing a diploma at the moment. I've only kind of recently started, so don't be asking me any questions. But I'm doing I'm doing like a level 5 diploma. Nothing huge, but I'm mainly doing it for my personal reasons. So I can just bash the trolls away. Do you know what I mean? When it comes to when they bloody talk about stuff like that, and also just my personal benefit. But that would be quite interesting. And I think when I get that qualification and if people do things like that, then like you said, when you go into schools and when you go into nurseries, you know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? And when they question you, or if they do question you, I mean, you can be like, well, actually, no, I'm qualified and I know what to be feeding my children, etc.
Yeah, so it's something I want to look into. I want to do some kind of nutritional thing because I just find it fascinating now. You know, knowing what you should be having with certain foods, it's really interesting.
It's like the thing is, when as soon as non-vegans don't care about your nutrition until you say you're vegan. I mean, as soon as you say, "Oh, I'm vegan," they know everything about nutrition. Then where'd you get protein? what about this? What about that? What about that? B12. It's just like, well, you've never mentioned to me about that before. I mean, you can be malnutrition non-vegan. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, oh God, don't get me started.
Oh, I know. Very good question.
So,
see, that has probably been our first negativity that we've had. I actually am still shocked what I've seen on social media. I never in a million years would have thought people find pictures of vegan children, save them to their devices and send them to other people to create YouTube videos and Instagram posts about these innocent children. And I think for us, that's something that I'm absolutely shocked by it. But
I can't even believe this.
I can't believe it. But I think for us, having a platform, it's an opportunity to talk about it. And I've been sending lots of messages to various family members, telling them who to block on Instagram and who to be aware of. And I think it's being mindful that if you are going to share pictures of your family under certain hashtags on Instagram, then be aware who might use them. I've recently made the decision to set our Instagram page to private, which I didn't want to do, but I've given it some thought because a troll actually tagged a Instagram page on my video. I did a live video trying to raise awareness on certain pages to avoid. I thought, wow, yeah, Veganized 2020. And it really, I was like, what? No, that's it. Block, 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 and private. And I just think for a bit, I'm gonna keep it private just to feel a bit safe, I think. Yeah, have you had any sort of negativity?
Yeah, all the time. I'm quite like part-time troll basher. I love it. I love it. I know Adam likes it a little bit as well. Like, but yeah, it's constant. The thing is, they've always been there. You know, like obviously, like we chat a lot, don't we? And I've spoke to you, Danny, and the thing is, it's always been there, but it come to light to us over the last few weeks, and it's always been there, and it's always going to be there. Yeah, you're always going to get these people, and because it kind of come to us, we obviously we were drawn over to their channels, and we were looking at the comments, and we couldn't believe it. But them comments have always been there, you know.
Yeah,
you just got to ignore it, you know. Yeah, I mean that channel in particular, I think that's one of the biggest I've seen. Yeah, what is it, 16,000? And obviously there's loads of carny ones, but you're looking at people, you know, in the vegan community. You know, it's good on our side. You know, you've got people like, you know, Joey Carbshon, you know, Vegan Gains, Earth and Ed, with huge followings. You know, and a hell of a lot bigger than them. I mean, I was Vegan Gains a question a while back, and I said, "Oh, have you heard of VD?" And he replied quickly saying, "Yeah, they did a video on me, whatever." And it was like, I mean, people know about them, you know, but just mug them off. And I think that's what we got to do. You know, just they're always going to be there. I mean, every now and then I head over there and just have a look at the comments, and it angers me. It angers me, like it ruins my day, to be honest. But that's what I just don't bother going over there now, because these people are just they're just clueless, you know.
I think we need to focus on the positivity, and we need to share lots of compassion and positive vibes, and just show people. I mean, the thing is, I probably want to say is, we've got loads of friends who aren't vegan, and they never ever say to us, "God, your child looks starved," because they know he isn't. And it only seems to be the small minority of people who think vegan children are starving. And I'm laughing at them, really, because you know, most of our friends aren't vegan, and they see him running around and healthy, and they say, "Oh, he probably eats healthier than us."
Yeah,
so it's laughable, really.
So I did that video the other week, and I was explaining like how I kind of got away from the bullying side of it, and I went on the aspect of, they're cherry picking unhealthy looking vegan pictures. Well, I could do a channel with thousands of unhealthy looking non-vegans. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's so cherry picked, and like it just angers me. I mean, it angers you so much. Yeah, they're talking about wrinkles and yellow or pale skin and stuff. It's like, I don't even know if these people are vegan. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I said to you the other day, didn't I, about I would love to do I'd love to find pictures of her subscribers and unhealthy looking pictures of them, give them to her, and tell them they're vegan, and then let her do a video about her non-vegan subscribers, because she thinks they're vegan, unhealthy vegans. It'd be quite fun, isn't it?
So we're going to move on to this one.
And let's give him a shout out. So that vegan kid.
Vegan kid.
He's only a young little dude, so go and check his channel out.
Buenos dias.
Yeah, he's really into the learning Spanish, aren't you, at the moment?
Yeah, so do you guys or your kids get trolls? If yes, how do you deal with it?
So yeah, we were just sort of talking about this as it's only recently come to light. Try to be fairly positive, because if I'm dealing with a troll, I try to keep nice and calm, nice and smiley, and I always wish them a good day and a happy life. That's how I do it, because I want people to see that we are genuine, happy, bubbly, friendly people. I don't want them to see any negativity from us.
What I do is I just point out their inaccuracies, kill them with kindness, and then hit the block button. my thing. How about you, Aaron?
Quite a while back, I used to be like, I remember Grumpy Vegan Grandad. I was speaking to him about it, and he said, "Oh, you're at the angry stage. You know, you're at that angry stage of being vegan, and they all anger you. You know." And I was at that stage for quite a while, and and I do get angry with myself, but I don't show them that. You know, like you said, I entertain them by either telling them simple facts, being nice to them, or just winding them back up. You know what I mean? I like winding them up, you know. But yeah, I don't let it bother me. And to the vegan kids, you know, obviously I know he's had a lot of trials, and I'll be there supporting you, mate. But don't let it get to you. You know, don't. There's a lot of idiots out there, and there, like I said, there will always be a lot of idiots. But just ignore them. You know, don't. And if you do reply to them, if you do comment back, then just wind them up and like Adam said, the best way is just block them. Do you know what I mean? Just let them get on with it.
I think
and like Miss Sales just put, yeah, they make my day. And to be honest, some of the brilliant ones, like tapeworms, is the one which I'll always remember.
Oh yeah.
There's some funny ones, and me and my wife, we do, and it actually makes our day sometimes because we just laugh about it, and it's like I don't know whether to punch the wall in anger or just laugh in hysterics because they are so funny sometimes.
Yeah, it's just.
With that vegan kid, I've got to say, I'm so impressed with his knowledge on nutrition. And, you know, I've got to give it to him. You've super impressed me.
So we had another question.
Oh, do we?
Kids. So sorry.
So here, Grumpy Vegan Grandad, get rid of that troll. He's a troll. That new one. He was in Vegan Kids.
Okay, we got Troll in the house, have we? Hi, Troll.
Hello, Troll.
Okay, so we recently did animal. Yeah, we recently did an AV cube. So that was our first time, the Anonymous for the Voiceless, and we were supposed to be doing our first visual on Monday. I think it was a dairy farm visual, but it got cancelled and they changed the date twice, so we couldn't go. But I am actually doing a chicken visual this week on my own. I'm going to video it. I'm absolutely freaking it. But yeah, we've just sort of started, haven't we? Our main focus has been YouTube and Instagram, but now we're getting into that, aren't we? What about you? You've attended a few visuals recently, haven't you?
I went one the other day. That was my first, actually. It was mainly for Ring Russell. There was no trucks that day, but yeah, it was good. And I say good. It was enjoyable, but no, it was good to go, and I'll definitely be going to more. It's mental how many triggered people you get, you know. But I was pleasantly surprised, and I was quite surprised about how many people are supportive. You know, and I'm pretty sure they weren't all vegan, but cars driving past and bibbing and putting the thumbs up, and it was actually quite surprising how much support it was. And it was a really busy road as well. We were on like a junction on a dual carriageway, and I mean there was some triggered people. Like one pair, I've got it on my video. Someone decided to throw like bits of like dead animal flesh at us. There was one woman who, I won't repeat what she said, but I've never seen so much anger in someone's face, shouting like "you vegan" something. Yeah, driving past. You know what I mean? And yeah, so there's a lot of triggered people out there, but it's planting seeds. You know, I kind of like when people get triggered because it just you're getting to people, and it's like they're gonna be thinking about that the rest of the day. I mean,
I think so. I mean, I used to get triggered as a vegetarian, like, why would I want to be a vegan? Like, why would I want to be like that? You know, I used to be, you know, I just used to get peed off with them. And you, like, when I first suggested, he was like, no, we're not doing that. No, you can't do that to us. And then actually when, you know, we tried it and we actually learned about what we were eating, we're like, this is amazing. Why haven't we done this before?
Yeah, like my only regret, and I think all vegans' regrets is, you know, my regret is that I never went sooner, you know.
Yeah, definitely. So, is there any sort of final questions that we've missed?
We had one here. What reaction did we have? Well, they didn't really have a reaction because our son never ate them in the first place. How about you?
We didn't eat animal.
Yeah, to be honest, the same. The same to be honest, because obviously my kids are quite young, so.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
How did you handle negative comments regarding forcing your children on it?
We're not. It's more of educating. telling the truth. Now, I think the way I sort of put it is, as children, we're taught not to lie. So we're telling our family the truth about
Yep.
food, where it comes from, and what it is. So yeah, I if someone says you force in your beliefs, I think we need to look at, as parents, you automatically install your beliefs into your children. If you were raised in a particular religion, you generally, raise your children to that belief. So yeah, nobody's forcing anybody to do anything, not in this house.
Exactly. Being vegan is a non-action. It's a non-action. Yeah, you're not forcing anything. And like I said, when people say that to me, and we've got that a lot, whether it be in person or social media, you're forcing. We're not doing anything. We're not forcing anything. We're not forcing people when we're doing activism. You're the one who's forcing animals to be killed. And when it comes to kids, when you're changing the kid vegan, and when it comes to your child's diet, what's forcing? A non-action like not giving them animal products or forcing animals down their throat that they naturally love. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and not telling them the truth. It's not like these people when they're giving them animal products. It's not like they're saying, "Oh, do you know where this comes from? This comes from the animal that you just saw down the petting farm." Do you know what I mean? They don't tell them the truth. We are telling them the truth.
Yeah, exactly. I think talking firstly is like my favorite. Telling people what we're doing. I think that is my best. I mean, I'm part of the vegan runners, so whenever I go running, I always wear my VR top. I always fly those colours, and that's something I've been doing for a while. But the AV Cube, I'm hoping to go back. We really enjoyed that, didn't we? And what about you?
I love all
that as
activism.
well.
I love it all. And I think from simply wearing a t-shirt that says vegan on it, or to bloody going into a butcher's, whatever. It's all activism. It's all about planting seeds in people's minds. There's a thing I saw a while back, and it's like the 100-point system. Someone told me about this. I saw it, the 100-point system, and you could give someone a vegan meal, and that would be 10 points, and then show them a documentary that might be 20 points, and when they get to 100 points, they go vegan. And someone, I think it's like a little documentary I watched, but it's all planting seeds, and whether it's having a conversation with someone, whether it's going running with your vegan top, whether it's being in the gym and showing your massive muscles, saying plant vegan gains or whatever, it's all activism. And yeah, vegans have to be active. I think if being vegan is for the animals. If you care naturally about the animals, you have to be active, and there's no stepping in eggshells. Is what I think. There's no. You don't have to be polite. You just be honest. You just tell the truth.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so I'm really not. I don't like oil. Put it there. I get eyes rolled at me. I'm like, have you put oil in my food? Have you put oil in that? Like, no, I don't like cooking oil in particular. It is empty calories. It is something that if I have oil, I'm going to be conscious that I put my weight back on. But impact on the environment. I've actually not really thought about that. Actually, that's a really good question. So when I'm thinking about the environment, I automatically think about animal agriculture. I've not really thought about oil. So maybe you can send me something, because that would be more of a reason not to have oil. So send me some information.
No, I don't really know about that. I mean, my wife does most of my cooking, and I dabble a little bit, but I'm not that great cook. But when it comes to environmental sides, it's a benefit of being vegan, but it isn't about veganism. And being vegan can be very unenvironmental, plastics and stuff. But one of the main causes of global warming is animal ag. So it does come into part of it. It does have to be talked about, but veganism is about the animals. So people, these non-vegans have a massive hissy fit about avocados. It's like, well, as far as I know, non-vegans ate avocados as well. I mean, I don't have that many avocados, but they're banging on about avocado farms. It's like, well, If you want to be an environmentalist, then it naturally go vegan, because you're gonna, it's the easiest thing to do. It's the easiest thing to do is just to go vegan. So.
We have got a question here specifically for you.
Oh, where's it gone?
Where's it gone? There it is.
How do I manage mass troll comments? Oh, I've had a lot. I mean, the last video I did was actually the meat phone at us at the vigil, and it went viral a little bit. I got about 11,000 views on it very quickly in the space of a few hours, and I couldn't keep up with the trolls. But I spend a good half hour, and I love it. I'll bash them back. And the most annoying thing about TikTok is you only get like 100 characters, so it's quite annoying to get everything you want to say in there. But yeah, mate, I've noticed that you get a lot. And like we said earlier, you just take control of how you see it. Tell them the truth, wind them up, block them. But don't let it anger you. Don't let it bother you, because most of them haven't got a clue what they're talking about.
No, exactly. I think we need to say a bit of a thank you to the mods in the house as well tonight, who've been sorting out some of the stuff that's been going on in this chat.
Down to it.
There's been some interesting things going on here.
Talking of TikTok.
Is it?
Yeah, it's all going on in there.
Well.
So thank you very much to our mods.
Give them a little shout out. There we go.
Oh yeah, he was in this earlier.
Was he?
I did a bit of troll bashing to him earlier.
So before we go, we're just going to quickly show your profile.
Yeah, I think we need to show everybody your YouTube.
So let's go into it. This is I'm Easy Vegan. Go and check him out.
Give him a subscribe, and don't forget to press the little bell.
Yeah, it's right here.
That's okay.
All those people.
I've got a good chat tomorrow, live chat tomorrow, which will be quite good. Muay Thai, professional Muay Thai fighter, he's vegan, so that'd be very interesting.
Amazing. That'd be really good. Really good. So we are going to carry on talking to other families over the next few months. I think we have one lined up for next Saturday with our friends Colin and Claire. They are the Sinclairs of the Earth family, and they have older children. So hopefully next Saturday we'll be doing another one. But is there anything you want to sort of say? Anything we might have missed before we end the stream tonight?
No, I think it's awesome what you're doing. When it comes to families, it's a massive. There's a massive stigma, around vegan parents bringing up vegan children. Massively, I've experienced it firsthand, and I think I said to you earlier about it'd be good if you could get different parents at different ages of children, because I would love to be, I love to know, I would love to have advice from, people who have gone vegan in their teenagers and how they're dealing with secondary school and stuff like that. It'd be very, I'd appreciate the advice and stuff, because I'm going through it as well. So.
Yeah, I think this will be the good thing for us with fairly young children, connecting with these other families and just supporting each other. I think right now vegan families need to support one another as a community.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's what we need to do.
You just got to get rid of the stigma, make it more normalized in the vegan family children. Well, do you know what I mean? We got to get rid of that stigma, and it's because it puts a lot of people off, and then it puts people who don't even think about veganism. It puts them off because there's already these myths about veganism, and especially when you've got these bloody anti-vegan channels and stuff. And if they go, because if a neutral goes over there, and if they haven't got a brain for themselves, they might believe that stuff, and they remember the negatives,
Well, thank you very much for joining us on our first live tonight. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. It's been good fun. And thank you for everybody who's joined us as well.
Thank you for all the comments. Thank you to the mods.
Yeah, thank you. And I think that's
us done.
Yeah.
So,
as we always say when we end a video.
So yeah.
Peace.
Thank you and peace.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. I'll talk to you soon.